Hello, happy Friday, good people. I would like to take on this challenge of being able to record and to share my thoughts uninterrupted for 30 days as a way of getting myself into the groove and into the habit of doing this podcasting business consistently. And another thing I'd like to challenge myself is to speak on the topics that matter most to me, that I'm really passionate about, that I have lived and worked experience in, even though academically I may not. This is because I think I still have worthwhile and maybe even important things to share with people that someone somewhere might find value in. Or maybe let me speak for myself. I tend to do this thing of second guessing myself and my ability to share my thoughts on certain ideas because maybe I feel I won't have the confidence to articulate them well enough. Maybe that I'm not formally educated on them well enough to speak on them. I'm not an expert, so to speak. But I have these ideas anyway, and I think my experience counts for something more than anything. So we're riding on that now. This thing of self-censoring, it's going to stop soon. I've been teaching English online for the last few years, almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in April. And I sincerely love my job. In addition to that, I've been tutoring my niece for about 2 years. It's been probably the best job I've ever had, no lie. Just being able to witness and to experience how she learns, how she interacts with and engages with new information, how she's able to form her own ideas and build on what she's just learnt has been an incredible experience. And being a part of that, being someone who served as a guide or who serves as a guide, because it's something we still do, and helping her find her own way of thinking, teaching her to think has just been incredible. I started off teaching my niece how to read and write, but the teaching really started very early on, where we would bring her into our environments, and whether we were working or spending time with friends and family, and encourage her to share her opinions on things. This obviously doesn't sit well with many people who feel like she's just a child and she should be able to speak and behave like one. But that's not the take and approach that we've had. We've adopted the same way of parenting my mom had with us, where she used to say this thing of she's not raising children, she's raising young women of tomorrow. And it's something she used to say ad nauseum, like something she said all the time and it used to get annoying, especially when she was trying to make her point about us learning responsibility and adopting certain behaviors for our own well-being, that we weren't doing things for her, we're doing things for ourselves as people. So yes, these are the philosophies and ideals that we've used to teach and nurture and raise my niece. We started off with the basics: phonics, combination letters, understanding the role of words in a sentence, understanding the role of a sentence in a paragraph, and then having her focus more on accuracy than just memorization, which was a big thing that I noticed with many students, that many of them are good at memorization, but most students don't understand why they're reading to begin with. They often don't understand the purpose of a story. They're not able to answer questions about that. So building critical thinking skills around the basics of that was fundamental and still is. And also just getting it right, so we wouldn't fluff over words. One thing that my niece and I focused on with phonics was that she had to learn to get reading the letters right and sounding them out And I keep reinforcing the idea of she can take on any word. It doesn't matter how long the word is. She can read any word with however many syllables just by starting with sounding each letter out and understanding the combination letters, how they sing and dance together, or how the married couples behave, how the married letters behave. Yeah, these are the languages that we use. But simplifying things has really been important, and just focusing on getting the basics right, because we are so quick to rush to keep our to have our kids keep up with their peers, that we forget that there are so many fundamental building blocks that help to build real comprehension and understanding at a level where it will make them easy, or it will help them understand anything at any other point in the future. So if they get the basics right, I think, and it doesn't matter how long that takes, if they get the basics right, later on they'll be flying. So that's what we've been focusing more than anything, the accuracy and helping build her comprehension. And I've realized that with the tutoring, because we would spend anything literally from 2 hours to 4 to 6 hours working on homework and helping her really understand what she was reading and doing, because she missed out on those fundamental years during the pandemic, with schools having been closed and her having been in a school that wasn't really teaching her those comprehensive skills of reading and writing and speech and listening. I think they did quite well, but the reading and the writing lacked significantly. So that's where we picked up from. And I think she's doing quite well. She's really outdone herself, and she's made me so proud to call her teacher and her guide. Nothing's made me more happier than seeing her progress over the last few. But anyway, I was saying that we take our time with the lessons, because sometimes the sentences she reads, or whatever work we're working on, it could be an article or a mathematics. So she does both math and English and Afrikaans and all of these different exercises. Then we would have breakaway discussions in the middle of all of these activities, where she finds a link and a connection to a story or a sentence or a word, asking what a word means. We look it up, watching videos to explain certain concepts and certain things, so that it helps with memory retention and so that she understands what she's reading, as opposed to just reading through the whole thing so that it's done. Accuracy is the key there, and I keep repeating it, because I think that's like one of the fundamental building blocks to that. And everything is new language for kids. Just imagine, as an adult, if you had to learn a new language, you have to understand the basics. If you're just thrown into the environment where everyone is speaking the language but you're going to feel lost. And you might even feel silly or like an idiot, because you feel like everyone has better understanding than you do, when in actual fact it's just a matter of being able to find the basics, the things that will help you understand what those people are saying. And so you look for similarities in languages, and then you are able to connect. What are the articles? What are the verbs in that sentence? What are the nouns? What are these? What are those? And then eventually you're able, just by identifying keywords in those sentences, to kind of make out what it means. So imagine, this is what you do when you learn a new language as an adult. How much more kids do this, and how much more they're expected to do this for all the languages that they learn in their school. So patience is key, just as you would want someone as an adult, you'd want someone to be patient with you when you learn a new language. It's very important to give your children the same amount of patience, and to learn them work at their own pace, You can't rush children. You can't force information on them. You can't force understanding on them. It's something that happens gradually. By taking on little challenges and taking on those little steps, before you know it, the child is flying on their own. I think one of my happiest moments for the year was seeing my niece move from 2-syllable words to 4-syllable words. This was huge because we started out last year learning to read from scratch, and it was a challenge. We fought. Sorry, not last year, in 2019. So it's been about 3 years. We fought like crazy because I myself as a teacher was learning so much about how children learn, about being patient at a different level, about working with her understanding and building on that, and also working not to say wrong or right, but finding ways of building on how she understands something, because kids are not always wrong, I can say that much. They just find different iterations of the same concept, and then you learn to work and play within those lines, and that makes things fun and interesting even for me, and helps me improve the way that I learn as well, so that I can be more open in learning anything, and also more open in the way that I help my niece learn. So in that sense, I don't think I'm teaching her anything. I'm giving her the will, or I'm empowering her to learn how to think and learn how to do things, which I think is pretty cool. That's probably one of the best jobs in the world, just witnessing that. And experiencing all of these things just gives me great appreciation for my mom, for my parents, but my mom in particular, who was just such an amazing teacher. And I always try to be just as excellent in my own way. But yes, I carry the same principles into my lessons with my learners from across the world, teaching learners at different levels, and learning how to use different elements of speech and language to help make the learning process interesting and fun. So yeah, that's my summary of my experiences teaching my niece and teaching English. I think I'll probably go into more detail as time goes on, maybe looking at key areas, maybe teaching grammar, teaching vocabulary, working on phrases, understanding how to do corrections. I don't know. I guess we'll see as we go on. But it's such a wonderful opportunity, maybe even privilege, to be able to impart knowledge and to share what I know, and to help empower other parents who feel like they are they don't know what to do, give them kind of like a starting point and to help them get somewhere. But kids are always learning. We just help them build on what they're already learning. Thank you for listening. I'll check you on the next one. Love you. Thank you. Bye.